Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing okay. It is raining today. It's a rainy day. But you know what? That's all right. It's not bad. Small problem, big world, right? That's right. So I'm going to turn this around for a second. Look how green everything is. Isn't that something? Yep, doing a little bit of front porch sitting. There's Miss V, turning her face away. Over here, Vivi. Here. No? All right. But yeah, that's where I sit when I do my sitting videos. I'm just going to turn this around here. It's a little dark today, so tried to get as much light as I could, but it's not working. So anyway, here I am. So I'm going to talk about the news. The main information stations. I don't even call them news anymore. That's how bad it's getting. The days of hard breaking news are starting to go by the wayside, I'm afraid. Now, I remember one day, well, my parents have always watched the news at 6 o'clock. As soon as supper was over, we watched, the news was on, or us kids went out and played. I watched the news with my dad. And then again, it'd be the 11 o'clock news. And because I lived in Southern Ontario, we got some of the American channels, and the news we watched was on WIVB Buffalo, New York, Channel 4. And I was home from school sick one day, and the news was on. My mom had to go to the store, so I was all curled up on the couch with my blanket and stuff. She went to the store. And I remember watching, and Walter Cronkite was on. And he sat there, and he looked up at the clock. He looked back into the camera, and he said, President Kennedy died at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Then he took his glasses off, those big heavy horn-rimmed glasses. He laid them down on his desk. And he looked back at the clock, looked down at his papers like he couldn't believe that it actually happened. And then he put his glasses back on. He cleared his throat, I think to wave off some nerves and some sadness, because I think he shed a tear, I really do. But he took those glasses off for a second, and when he put them back on, he said, the vice president has left the hospital. We don't know where he is, but we assume he is heading to get sworn in as the 36th president of the United States of America. Chad Huntley and David Brinkley, same type of journalists. They were awesome. So what I'm going to do, that's awfully dark. How's that? A little better? Okay. So anyway, they were hard-hitting. They didn't offer their opinions. Do you ever notice that? They never offered their opinions. They said the news. The journalists were out there hitting the road. The Vietnam War was going. There was stuff going on around the world. All them journalists out in the field. Storms, floods, everything else. You heard everything. That's about the only news we get today is from disasters. Because the stuff they're doing in studio now, roundtable discussions, might as well have a cup of tea and a biscuit and talk to your neighbor about the local gossip down the street. Because that's all they're feeding you, and they're feeding it to you ad nauseum. I'm just saying. Our job as independent creators like myself, Luke Beasley, the Midas Touch Boys, David Packman, it's not our opinion. It's what we're reading from other independent news sources and not the mainstream media. Actually, did you know Goebbels came up with that? Mainstream media and how they were the enemy of the people? That was Goebbels. But anyway, Fox has always been center to right on the right-hand side of the column. And they've just, since Trump started running around the end of 2014, 2015, that's when they got into Trump. And that's when everything started spinning out of control. In my opinion, because I can do that. And I'm not even getting paid to do it. Now it's not even news, it's more of a cartoon of news. It really is. It's like, Anybody can get their 5 minutes of fame as long as they whisper that little wormhole into the right ear. You can tell James Comer, for instance, anything you like, and he'll take that as fact, and he'll have to have a committee, and they're going to have to go out there and tell everybody, just like they were trying to get Joe Biden, big mastermind. But now Joe Biden can't walk, can't talk, can't think. But he's a big mastermind because he ran all that money, and Trump says that he's got more homes than he has. And the MAGAs out there believe it because it comes from their trusted newsman, Hannity. Or Jesse Waters. Those fools. They don't fact check anything. Have you noticed? They don't fact check a damn thing. They just don't. Marie Bartiromo, there's a good example for you. She's terrified that she's going to court next with Smart Tech. But anyway, she had people on when they were all going to court with Giuliani and Sidney Powell. She had Sidney Powell on there as a guest, and she goes, well, where did you get this information that there was so much fraud and they were stuffing ballot boxes? Where'd you get that? Oh, my friend told me. She heard it in the wind. She heard it in the wind. Really? And that's what they ran with. That was one of the big lies that Fox was telling. She heard it in the wind, folks, so it must be true, right? Seriously. But she doesn't fact check nothing. I've seen that building on TV. It's massive, and you think with all them hundreds of people that are working in that building, one of them could sit down to the Google machine and figure something out. But no, and none of them are doing that anymore. They're not. They're just letting the lies fly. I'm getting sick of it. I started, now that, $784 million fraud against Fox for spewing lies about the election. I think that would have clued them in, wouldn't you? No. So all of a sudden now it's fact because they said so. I watched a thing, I started watching this a couple days ago. It's called Resolute Square. And the thing is strategy session. Now these guys are friggin' phenomenal. They have a new thing where there's 3 of them on there and they're talking about the elections and everything else and news media in general is what today's topic was. And Mark Jacobs was on there. He's been around a long time. And he said we need to confront the liars each and every time they lie. Don't you think that's a good idea? When they lie, interrupt the broadcast and say, nope, that's wrong. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. It's like they said they can't keep up with the lies because the fact checking would take too long. Really? Is that a fact? Well, my facts say that what they should have, they've got all this technology and stuff. Every time these guests like Trump are on or anybody else is on, there should be a chyron running around the bottom of the screen there that said, as soon as they open their mouth and they put the title in of what it was, the abortion thing, ripping the babies out of the moms and then killing them if the mom doesn't want the baby. Yeah. Fact check. Nope. False. They had Elise Stefanik on, I think she was on CNN as a matter of fact. She told 3 lies in one sentence. One friggin' sentence. I keep getting people upset with me for saying GD, but when we used to say that around my grandmother, if you said goddamn around her, she would say, you better hope he doesn't. That was what my grandmother used to say. But anyway, back to this stuff. They should have to have that fact check run around like a little chyron running underneath every time they open their mouths. That should be there. And there's another guy that was on there named Joe Trippi. He's a Democrat strategist. And what he's come up with was hashtag fire the liar and then add the person's name. Fire the liar, whoever it is. Who's ever telling the lies? Fire the liar, Donald Trump. Fire the liar, Marie Bartiromo, whatever. As soon as they spouting lies, that should be up there. And the more people that do it, the more people are going to see it. The anchors have to stop it in its tracks. As soon as it comes out of the mouth, say, no, that's a lie. That's not true. Blah, blah, blah. Or at least tell the audience, that's not true. Check this information here. That's not true. Check this over here. The anchors have to stop it and tell the guest, if you don't stop spouting these lies, this conversation is ended. Caitlin Collins did it a couple weeks ago. It was fabulous. They should all be doing it. Yes, Dana Bash, Jake Tapper, I'm talking to you too. I'm a little miffed at you guys right now. And guys like Scott Jennings, who come on CNN, and all of us, he didn't mind saying all the bad stuff about Trump when Trump was just running. But now that he's the nominee, all of a sudden, maybe it's not so bad, and maybe we can spin this and turn that. Well, he got into a big shout match between another commentator on there on one of the roundtables not too long ago. And it was a priceless thing to see. It was so worth it. So worth it, I'm just saying. And anybody who spouts that MAGA Bible bullshit that they go on about, how about, instead of passing that off and just going to the next guest, how about they tell him, keep this up in your $175,000, $300,000 contract that you get a year from this company. You keep spouting that crap, you're fired. We're not going to pay you. How would that go? Right? Apparently no other right-wing guys will have them, so he ended up on CNN. Is that how that worked? But yeah, Scott Jennings really, really pissed me off. But even though there's a little kernel of truth in there, guys like Jennings will wrap that up in a bunch of newspaper with 30 pounds of friggin' 3-week-old fish and just leave it on the doorstep and hope you'll buy it. Yeah, buy it as fresh fish. But if they want to warn these guys to tell the truth or get fired, maybe they should start looking at their contract salaries. And maybe not offer them so much. Maybe offer them maybe 50 grand. Because they're not on there every day. It's not like they're on there for an hour or two on each. Well, some of them are on a few programs, but they're there for like 4 minutes. So maybe start deducting their pay. Or have them on once a week. They're spinning like friggin' knitters. I'm telling you. They spin more yarns than you can shear sheep to make wool. I'm just saying. And Mark Jacobs had this. He said, the GOP, Republican National Committee, all that's going to turn out to be is an infomercial for insurrection. How's that? An infomercial for insurrection. That's what's going to happen at the RNC next week. So anyway, Nana loves you. Be good, be safe, and please take care of you first so you can take care of somebody else. I love you so much. And nails, I got little daisies. Daisy nails for the summer. Anyway, you take care of you first. I love you so much. Thank you for all my new subscribers that have come through. Get the word out. We've got to spread this stuff far and wide. Just saying. Take care of you. I love you so much. Mwah.